Today I'm visiting Castle Rising in Norfolk. I've been here about 5-6 times. It's an absolutely beautiful castle. Absolutely massive earthworks. This was once a prison, surprisingly enough. Although not a prison, it was the home of Queen Isabel, daughter of the King of France, married to Edward II. She was possibly partly responsible for his possible death. Nobody knows what really happened to him. The stories are exaggerated. He'd disappeared in September 1327. Was never seen again. Some people say he went into exile. Some people say he was murdered. He probably was murdered, but not in the manner that all the stories are, the red hot poker. It's very unlikely that happened. A lot of references to his supposed homosexuality. There's no evidence of that either. He was a very bad king, to be honest. So this was Isabela, her home for many years. She was under open arrest. Her young son, when he came to power, Edward III, and this is where he ended up. Well, this is one of the places she was kind of exiled to. Luckily there's not too many people here today. Surprising, the kids are off. They're all heading up to Hunstanton, I think, thankfully. And as you can see how big the earthworks are. You might see a little fluffy bit at the top, but that's my microphone, because it is extremely windy today. For those of you who think I'm just walking straight in, I have already got my ticket, being a member of the English Heritage. This is a Motte and Bailey style castle, although that motte there would more likely be classed as a ringwork almost at the top. As I say, I've been here quite a few times and filmed this. Possibly what it would have looked like. It was a very grand castle. Only the keep, the gatehouse and this bridge remain of the earthworks. Yeah, as I say, I've been here many times. I've taken photographs, but I'm just going to video today. Lots of little no-go area towers. Village of Castle Rising over there. Obviously the very impressive keep there. Sadly you can't get to the top on the roof, which would be very, very good. Despite the main road not being too far away. King's Lynn just over there. It's still relatively quiet. Just had a breakfast over at the little cafe there. Recommend that if you do come here. You can see the sheer scale of these earthworks. Let's have another look at that keep. I mean, if you were a prisoner, it's not exactly a bad prison to be in. It's getting very windy over this side. Hopefully the microphone will take most of that noise away. Something you don't know or notice about this is that once upon a time the sea, which is probably about a mile away from here now, used to come right the way up to here, and this area here would have had ships or small boats coming up to it, and this could be resupplied and would also make it harder to attack from this side because of the sea. But in a siege, if there was one, you could be resupplied by the sea. You can see a well there. I think that building on the left was the chapel. You can see a well built in there. Something of interest just on this side here, although they don't go out into a moat, which they would normally have done, is the toilets, or the garderobe. You would have sat there and anything you did would have dropped down to the bottom there. And obviously some poor old servant would have had to come along ever so often and shove it into a wheelbarrow and take it away and put it on the land somewhere. I believe those buildings, the ruins there, were the kitchen. That platform there, not only could you unload chips on it, but it would also a little extra area for putting catapults on or having archers on. Just an extra layer of defence. As you can see, a pretty fantastic view all round. Although a lot of the area and land around here would have been forested, a lot of it's been cleared. It's hard to have a sort of a view. You can see some of the old flint walls here that still would have remained. They're probably still in the earthworks. I think we'll go down this way. Residence of Queen Isabella, later referred to as the she-wolf. Obviously a derogatory term, but very probably apt due to her fierce nature. Here we're coming into the entrance. The entrance into the castle is not on the ground floor. You can see the at the base there where it's slanted. There's a lot of people have different explanations of them. Make it harder to undermine. If you drop something at the top, it'll hit it and bounce outwards. This is the lower part of the castle. There would have been floors above. You can see the holes where the floors would have been. You wouldn't have been able to access the upper part of the castle from here. There's another very, very deep well down there. Hello. Hello. Yeah, this part of the castle you would not have been able to access by getting in through the front door. The upper part's the slightly more defended part. You would have had to have come up here. People would have been attacking you from above. Through there, Port Castle, the gate. Into the guard room. Chapel. Later. Going down here. Graffitiists. And this is the guard robes where you can't quite see them, but you saw them on the out of the part of the wall. Looks like something's built a nest in there. Don't believe there's any kitchens or anything in this building. I think they're pretty much all outside. No glass or anything, so it would have been pretty open to the elements.
Mummy, let's go. Yeah,
You can't go up there, dude.
no.
Go on his lap.
There's just a little hole.
Right, let's come in here so you can walk.
There you go.
Oh.
Downstairs, please.
Yeah, sadly, that's the only one on this floor. Sadly, this is as high as you can get in here, although the highest point is where the flag is. So, oh, hello, moth, butterfly type thing. That's as high as you can get where the flag is. I'll probably end the video here, but this is a very beautiful keep. This has obviously been whitewashed in here. Fairly modern fireplace. A lot of the castle would have been like this. And that's looking out by the gate. And this is the Castle Rising Castle in Norfolk. An absolutely beautiful place to visit. Over in the woods on the opposite side there is an earth mound. People have speculated whether or not that was a motte from a siege castle, but they're not sure. But here we go. Castle Rising Castle in Norfolk.